church pursuing his pastoral license. He has completed his Bachelor for Leadership in Ministry at the Ignite Life Pacific College. He is a wonderful person I see thus far. He's the son of Sister Lisa Barnes. Amen.
Amen.
And all those who know Lisa, you know her son should be a nice person. Amen. Also, he does local missionaries or mission trips in the Americas. He visits Nicaragua and other places doing the work of the Lord. And I know once you're doing the work of the Lord, blessings will come your way. Amen? Amen. This time I present to you missionary Christian Dockery.
You all may be seated. I'm hoping if several people could actually help me read some scripture tonight. I have already asked you who you are to go ahead and come on up for me. I've asked you to read some scripture. But first of all, I want to say thank you guys so much for having me here. When you talk about blessings from the Lord, this here, being here with you guys, is a blessing in and of itself.
Amen.
Just seeing all your faces and the relationships that are built, that is a blessing from the Lord. That is one of the greatest blessings, is the relationships that you make. And actually, that is exactly what I want to talk to you guys about tonight, is the relationship with Christ.
Amen.
Some of the saddest things I see in the churches back home is that people are Christians not because of Christ. They are Christians, or they have the name of Christian rather, because they want heaven. They're afraid of hell. So instead, they are running to something that they have no desire for just because they're afraid of the opposite. And I want to tell you that it's not supposed to be that way. That Christ died for each and every one of you because he loves you all so, so much. First, I want to bring up my first person. I found out this year that apparently I have a sister. So we're going to start in one of beloved scriptures, John 3:16 and 17.
Good night, church. I'm here to say John 3 and verse 16 and 17. Here again, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Amen.
God so loved the world. He loved the world. He didn't see the world and see it was broken and saw, I should fix this. No, he loved the world.
Amen.
And that he sent his Son. The Son, which we know is God himself as well. Who sends their Son for someone that they don't love? For someone that's just some sinner, some person who needs to be fixed? We go on to verse 17, it said, for God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but the world through him might be saved.
Amen.
Salvation is not about, now listen to me here, listen to everything I say. Salvation is not about your behavior. No, behavior is a byproduct. Salvation is about your relationship, the chance that you get to be with the Father. God didn't die on the cross so you can act right, so you might look good. God died on the cross so you can spend eternity with him. Because he loves you, each and every one of you, that much.
Amen.
That the covenant that was broken way back in the Old Testament, God made a covenant with Abraham. That covenant was a contract, and that was the very relationship that God was promising to Abraham and all his descendants, all of Israel. And guess what Israel did? They looked to the left, they looked to the right, they never looked down center. They kept going from God. They kept betraying him. Even on their very wedding night, when Moses was up on the mountain talking to God, hashing out what their life together was going to be like, Israel was down forgetting about him and making idols. But God saw that, and he said, that hurts. That hurts a lot. But I don't care. Because I love them that much. And I already have a plan. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I knew everything else, each and every one of them was going to do. And every hurt, every betrayal that each and every one of us do, God knows. But yet he already chose to die.
Amen.
He already chose the cross for you. So nothing you do will ever be enough to make the cross useless. And I want to go with my next speaker, Cindy. If you could please come on up, Sister Cindy. And this is going to be in Hebrews 11:5-7.
By faith, Enoch was taken away so that he did not see death, and was not found, because God had taken him. For before he was taken, he had this testimony, that he pleased God. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. By faith, Noah, being divinely warned of things not yet seen, moved with godly fear, prepared an ark for the saving of his household, by which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is according to faith.
Amen.
But without faith, it is impossible to please him. So does that mean I can go over here and I can do all these nice things and I'll please him? Can I build churches? Can I build schools in places where there are no schools so people can be educated and please God? Is that all I need to do? No. It is by faith that we please God. It is that relationship with him. Faith is built through time spent. Faith is built with seeing the promises of God come true. Each thing you go through in your life and God has delivered you from is another notch in your faith, something to build you up, something to make you stronger and have greater faith.
Amen.
And that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So what is that reward? Like I say, this reward that we're looking for is not things. I'm not going to go and seek God so I can get a nice new Ferrari, or a brand new car, or a nice new house, or new friends, or whatever this world may tell me I need. I'm going to seek God because I want his very presence. We seek God because we want his presence.
Amen.
We don't want to stray away from punishment. But punishment's not even on the board for us. Because we're just looking at God. We're just looking at the reward, which is eternity in paradise with him. And Sister Christine will be reading another scripture from Romans 8:31-39.
What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own Son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elect? It is God that justifieth. Who is he that condemneth? It is Christ that died, yea rather, that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of God, who also maketh intercession for us. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors ours through him that loves us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, not height, nor depth, not any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord.
Amen.
So, some things can separate us, right? That's what the scripture is telling us. There's a couple things in there, wasn't there? No. Oh, no. So nothing can separate us from the love of the Father.
Amen.
Nothing can separate us from the love of the Father.
Right. Amen.
I don't think I'm hearing you guys. I'm going to be quiet. Exactly. God's love is so strong for us. We call it unconditional love. Or as we have sung recently, reckless love.
Amen.
Reckless love, which means a love that is so strong, that loves so much, that it has no care for own self-value. God looks at you and doesn't think, oh, if I love them, they might hurt me. No, he knows you're going to hurt them. Because we're human.
True.
But he loves you anyways.
Amen.
He loves each and every one of you recklessly, unconditionally. You don't have to do anything for him to love you. And so he's preparing a way for you to come to him. He's done it already. He's died on the cross. All you have to do is bow down and say, you want this relationship.
Amen.
You want this intimacy with the Lord. Nay, in all things, we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. His love is so strong that he is there with you in the pit. When you have fallen, you can't get up. When you are under fire from the enemy, he doesn't stray. It's not too hard for him. He sees the hardship and he runs after you. So tell me, Camp Curtis, do you want this intimacy with the Lord?
Yes.
One more time, do you want this intimacy with the Lord?
Yes.
All right, it sounds more like it. So, I'm not one of those pastors that just tells you you need something and walk off. I'm gonna walk you through it a little bit. So first, let's look at what does intimacy look like. There's plenty of people to look at in the Bible. We can go to Moses. We can go to the Levites in the church. We can go to Gideon. We can go to Paul. We can go to Elijah. Moses went to the mountaintop and found God. He was alone with God in a very private and personal place. There was a place in the temple called the Holy of Holies. This was the place that in all of Israel, God chose this place to put his full presence on, so that whoever entered into this place was assured God's presence. Gideon, he was working at a wine press. He was working. He wasn't actively seeking God, but God found him. Elijah, he went and he hid, and he was waiting for the Lord. He was waiting for the fire. He was waiting in the storm. He was looking for a big booming voice. They heard him in a whisper. But why didn't he hear him in a big booming? Was he expecting a big booming voice? Because God has. When God spoke to Israel, not just Moses, but he spoke to Israel at Mount Sinai, and they heard the boom of the voice and the thunder, and they were afraid. But God was reaching out. And then Paul, he was on the road to Damascus. He wasn't even planning on talking to God. He was with his friends, he was talking, having a good time, making plans, and boom, it hit him. God met him in that place. So look, this intimacy with God is different for each and every person. Some of you need a quiet place to go to. Some of you need to go out into the wilderness, need to go out in the woods and just find a quiet space. Some of you maybe want a place in your house. Some of you maybe want to go into the city. Some of you just might want to be around others. And that's okay too. But I don't say that to say that you can't find God in these other places. If you find God in the wilderness, it doesn't mean you can't find God with other people. That's just what your personal spot is. You need to go through all these places. Go everywhere you go, be searching for God.
Amen.
But especially make time in your personal place. What else does intimacy look like? It's listening to Him. It's hearing the voice of God. Who knows God? Our God is not a dead God. He's a personal God who has a voice.
Amen.
Our God speaks to us. Our God tells us things. Our God watches out for us.
Amen.
And lets us know things. He chooses us and He equips us.
Amen.
And on the flip side, intimacy is talking to Him. He just doesn't just throw everything at you and then walk away. God is there for you to take you step by step. You have a question, go to God. If you just want to talk to somebody, God is there to listen. Lay your burdens on the Lord. That is intimacy. That's not just throwing away your burdens onto someone. That is intimacy that God is asking for. He wants your burdens. He wants the good and the bad in your life. He wants to know how you did in school. He wants to know how you did at work. He wants every detail of your life. And finally, what it looks like is just talking about Him. I want to point out actually my mother, Sister Lisa. So she married my stepdad when I was 10 years old. So most of my idea of what relationships are like comes from that. When she got married, maybe the first 3, 4, 5 years, and even today you still hear it, but it was stronger back then, she constantly bragged about my stepdad, how good he was to her. Why aren't we talking about God like that? We need to be talking about God to everyone. We don't share the gospel because we think we're better than people. We share the gospel because we want to show people how great the love of our lives are.
Amen.
We talk about Him because we are excited, not because we're afraid of what happens if we don't. And now, how do we get there? Brother Devin, would you like to start saying something as we get down to the end of my message? How do we get there? It starts with the Word, first and foremost. Everything God had breathed into this is for you today. It was for them, but it's also for you. Each and every word in here is living. That means it applies every single moment of everyone's life. The second is worship. I don't have to tell you guys, you can be in the presence of the Lord in worship. When God just fills you, and you can't do anything but praise His name.
Amen.
Thirdly, spending time. Of course you're going to build a relationship by spending time with Him. So spend time with the Lord. Take a minute a day at first, then go 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Just start somewhere and just spend time with Him. You wouldn't look at your best friend and see them once and then not see them again for a year, would you? Your best friend or your spouse, the person that you love, that you're married to, would you spend one day with them a year? Would you spend one day with them a week? No, you want to spend all of your life with them. And now I talked about looking like intimacy is listening to God. You can also gain intimacy by truly listening to God. It used to be where on radios you would have to tune in the dial. Or it would be just static. It would just be a bunch of noise. And maybe you get a word here and a word there. But you had to tune it in to find the right frequency to hear God's voice. Or to hear a voice. So for you, you need to tune into God's voice. Find the right frequency. Hear what He's saying. Don't just catch every other word and be happy with that.
Amen.
Next, go deeper. Take where you're at. I don't care if you're a new Christian or if you've been a Christian your entire life. I don't care if you're 5 or if you're 500. You need to go deeper. deeper than where you are now.
Amen.
If you read a verse a day, start reading 2, 3, 4. If you read a chapter a day, read the chapter before and the chapter after. If you already do that, start looking up what this means to the people who wrote it and who it was wrote to. The Romans were going through some things, and God had some things to tell them. And when you learn what God is speaking to them, you better understand what God is speaking to you. And finally, this last one might be a little weird, but don't be afraid of conflict. There's going to be conflict with God. You're not going to like Him some days, but you're going to love Him. Some days God's going to get you a little mad. Oh, God, I don't want to do that. God, I'm not going to talk to that person. Now, obviously you're in the wrong, but it's okay. Because God's going to put you back in the right if you let Him. And every relationship you'll ever have has conflict. Whether it's mother and son, father and daughter, whether it's best friends, whether it's husband and wife. No matter what it is, there's going to be conflict of some sort. And it can do two things. It can break it, or it can give it strength. In China, or rather Japan, there's a act of pottery where when the pottery is broken, they don't just throw it away. They line it with gold. Those broken pieces where there's been stress in the life, in the relationship, in the pottery, is put in with gold. It strengthens it. It makes it worth more than before it was broken.
Amen.
And so is our life, and so is our relationship with Christ. Every storm we go through, every time we don't understand, and we go to God with that, we are building our faith, not breaking it. Because God is always going to return with the answer that is good, not necessarily that you want. He will give you what you need. He will make you better. He will make you stronger. And He will make you more valuable. He takes the broken and He has the gold.
Amen.
So I want to give all you guys a chance today to respond. If you want to just get into an intimacy with the Lord that you've never seen before. That you're going to push in with God. So I promise you, when you push in, He's pushing back. He's going, whatever you put in, He's going to give you 10 times back. You guys want to close your eyes and maybe take the person next to you, take the hand of the person next to you, and just start praying and just ask God to bring you this